Hey everybody, it's Dr. Meri Crouley for Now is the Time. And I've got I'm really excited about having this guest on the show today, Dr. Daryl Wolf. He's the doc of DETOX. And just talking to him for a few minutes before the show, I'm really intrigued by what he's going to have to say today. It has to do with just detoxing your body. And that's where all cancer comes from. It's really inflammation. So we're going to really dive deep into some of this stuff. But before we do that, today's program is sponsored by Exodus Strong. Let's roll that commercial, please.
Feeling tired even after a full night of sleep? You're not alone. Millions struggle with low energy, brain fog, and inflammation every day. And it's not your fault. The modern world wears down your mind, body, and spirit. But what if there was a natural way to feel energized again? Meet Exodus, a breakthrough supplement powered by 7 biblical ingredients and enhanced by the modern science of molecular hydrogen. This unique formula helps restore your energy, reduce inflammation, and renew your vitality naturally. Real people are already seeing the difference. Exodus Strong has been a game changer for me. After just a week, I noticed better sleep, improved focus, and no more afternoon crashes. Go from fatigue to vitality with Exodus. Visit exodusstrong.com/MERI and start your journey today.
Yes, so go to exodusstrong.com, put in my promo code Meri, right in the middle of America, MERI, and you'll get a significant discount. It really does work. So anyway, Dr. Wolf, it's good to have you on the show today. How are you? Being down in Mexico, enjoying the nice weather. I've been down there many, many times. So actually, I love Mexico.
Yeah, I love it too. I love Mexico, and I don't know, this is where I'll be staying for at least the next few years.
Yeah, so why don't you tell us a little bit about your story? Because being in Hollywood, it's always about a story, motion pictures, moving stories. And, it says in the Bible that they overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their story or their testimony. And you told me a little bit of a story about your father. Why don't you kind of share how you kind of all began in your journey?
Well, I was raised by 2 really beautiful parents. My father was, believe it or not, he was a carpenter, but he also was a born-again Christian pastor. So anyway, I was raised by him, and I really, and my mother, of course, but and we lived on a farm, and we lived in the rural country, so it was really a great upbringing. And
what city or state? Where were you?
Pardon?
What state or what country were you in?
Oh, at that time, I was living in Ontario, Canada.
Okay.
Okay. And then I lived in British Columbia. Okay. We lived in the States. So we moved back and forth. Okay.
But your dad had a condition, something that happened to him?
My father came down with leukemia. Okay. And so when he came down with the leukemia, my older brother called me and said, Dad came down with leukemia. And he didn't want to tell you because he thought that you might be upset with him because, it's like everything else, our parents don't listen just like children don't listen. Okay. So, he knew what to do, but he didn't want to do it. And, some people just don't change. So you love them anyway. But the reality is he came down with leukemia. They said he had 2 weeks to live. I said, Marcel, get him out of the hospital. They didn't want to let him go, and I said they can't keep him. Just sign him out, and then get him on a plane, get a wheelchair. And they said he had 2 weeks to live. When I picked him up, he had cold sores on his lips. His skin was yellow. His eyes were yellow. And we went home, and right away I got him on my protocol. And I know people don't want to believe it, but in 6 weeks he was clear of his leukemia. Okay, so then 2 years later, he gets it and it comes back. So then he comes back to me, and then this time it took us 4 months. Okay, and then the third time he didn't make it to me. So
okay, what year was this, doctor?
This was back when I was 28 years old. So I'll be 70 in 2 months.
Well, so you've been on a long trajectory of this. So you got into a lot of learning about how to heal these conditions more naturally.
Yeah, when I was 17, my grandfather got bowel cancer, and so it was just me and my mother at the time, and because my parents, they split, and that was think about it, 17 years old, and you're trying to help your grandfather do a coffee enema to try to unblock his bowel. So it was quite the learning lesson. You know, when I was young, just a couple of years after that, I hitchhiked to Gary, Indiana, where I went and and became a colon therapist, right? So, you know, it's usually somebody you love and that pole vaults you into something.
Yes. So, well, did you get your grandfather then? Did you help him?
Oh, absolutely. He was out of pain. But like I said, you can love people, but it doesn't mean you're going to change them. He didn't want to change his diet. He didn't want to stop drinking beer. So, you know, you learn after a while, love them anyway.
So basically, you've seen that explained because we were talking a little bit before when we talked about cancer. There's like an epidemic of cancer that we see erupting all over the world. But you were explaining really what cancer is. Talk about what you were talking to me about.
Well, I think it would be more of an epidemic of inflammation. We're an inflammation nation, okay? People are on fire. So the easiest way for me to actually explain this to you, first of all, there is no cancer, and cancer is a defense mechanism. And if a person didn't get a tumor or a fibroid or scar tissue or fat cells or cyst or lipomas, they might be dead already. All of these things, from a pimple to a tumor, are storage sheds of toxins because the host of the body doesn't know how to detoxify or bring nutrition into the body. That's it. So let me explain it like this. From the minute you're born, you're being roasted from the inside out. So inflammation is a fire, inflame. So, you know, when you have Thanksgiving dinner, you put the turkey in the oven. The turkey is kind of a white pinky color, right?
Yeah.
You know, what are we? A white pinky color. Or, you know, we can be dark skinned, but we're a white pinky color inside. You know, we can be dark skinned outside, but inside it's white and pink. That's it. If you look at a brand new baby's tissues, you're going to see pink from blood flow, and you're going to see white. The skin is white. The tissues are white. By the time that you're 12 years old now, you're light brown inside your tissues. Did you know that? And children were never light brown inside their tissues. Children are being fried from the inside out. So if I put the turkey in the oven, after 35 minutes, it's got a light brown color. After maybe an hour, okay, it's got a brown color. After an hour and a half, it's dark brown. And if I forget about it, it might go black. So believe it or not, we are roasting from the inside out faster than a human being ever has roasted before. And we roast from the inside out from inflammation. And the inflammation is caused from emotional infection, dysfunctional belief systems, and toxic foods.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So what can they do to unroast? What can they do to what's the protocol?
Most people will never unroast, because to unroast, you have to, first of all, remember that 70% of your energy, every time that you chew something, you take 70% of that energy of your body for digesting. Just know that people eat 10 times too much. I eat one meal a day. I'll drink, I'll do some nutraceuticals, you know, I might do a blender drink and I'll have one meal a day. No snacking, none of this stuff. But, understand this. Our ancestors ate one meal a day to one meal every 3 days. That's how they stayed so healthy. Today, we're just eating ourselves to death. One of the lowest vibrational things you can do is shop in a supermarket. Only 1% of the food in a supermarket in the United States or Canada or UK is worth eating. That was actually a study that was done. 1% of the food is only capable of being eaten, and everybody's still shopping in supermarkets. So what's that going to tell about everybody's health in the next few years? They're leaving. Okay, so we know that all processed food now has graphene in it. We know all processed food has glyphosate. We know that all processed food, if you take a look at the names, sugar has 66 different names, and you might not find any sugar on it, but I guarantee you that sugar is the number one ingredient once you decode the other names. Okay, so we know that everybody is glucose spiking all the time. Okay, we know that the body will store glycogen in the liver as long as it can, and then it's got to store it in other places, and then we create lactic acid throughout our body. Okay, so what's happening here is inflammation. It's a flame. And what does a flame eat? Oxygen. So Dr. Otto Warburg was the only person in history to actually get the Nobel Prize for discovering the cause of cancer. And the cause of cancer was a 35% deficiency in oxygen and electrical conductivity for more than 3 days puts the cell into panic because it's alive and it has emotions. And it goes into panic and it changes its digestive tract, okay, from actually living off oxygen and electrical conductivity to lactic acid. The more lactic acid you build up in your body, the less oxygen you're going to have, the less electrical conductivity. And it goes, oh my God, look at this. There's not enough electricity. There's not enough oxygen. I can live off of lactic acid and become an immortal cell forever. So then a cancer cell eats a lactic acid and produces lactic acid. So it keeps this real strong environment of lactic acid. And that's why they say cancer is immortal. It's not immortal if you know what you're doing. So here's the deal. We have 0.04 volts in all our cells. We have 50 trillion cells. 50 trillion cells, 0.04 volts is 2 trillion volts. A healthy human is 2 trillion volts of power. So we have the power to create, we have the power to heal, we have the power for everything. Now, what happens is through infection on an emotional, mental, and physical level. Why do I say that? Because understand something. Tell me that people aren't raised with dysfunctional beliefs of unworthiness, low self-value. I just got to try to pay my bills. I just got to survive. So depending on where they come from, that's their personality. So your personality creates part of your reality. So it's not just a physical thing. It's also an emotional, it's a mental thing. But the reality is when your oxygen drops by 15%, so does your electrical conductivity. When that happens, pain kicks in. Pain is the GPS. And pain is telling you you're out of alignment. If you've got pain in anywhere in your body, I can tell you in 2 minutes how to get rid of it. Okay? And why you have it. Remember, an emotional block, a mental block, eventually causes a physical block. And all these blocks are called damage. Dam. They're damming up. And every block in your body, it doesn't matter where it is. There's no 2,200 diseases. There's no 175,000 autoimmune diseases. There's no 110 cancers. There's just inflammation that causes dehydration, causing scar tissue, and pulling calcium from your bones to try to keep you alkaline so that you don't go acidic, so that your electrical conductivity and oxygen does not drop. So when it drops 15%, pain kicks in. If it keeps going, then you guess what you get? You get redness, you get stiffness from the dehydration of the tissues, from the inflammation, because you're being cooked. Okay. And then you get even stiffer because the calcium's being pulled from your bones and going into your joints. It could be called a kidney stone, a gallstone. It could be called a calcium deposit in your breast. It could be called osteoarthritis. Okay. So decide what you want to call it, but there are no diseases. There's just a bunch of labels, because no matter in the body where it is, it's all the same thing. It's just that that's the weak point. So now, if it drops by 25% in electrical conductivity and oxygen, now you create parasites. And you know, everybody's talking about parasite cleansing. Well, you can parasite cleanse for the rest of your life until you bring your vibration up, until you bring your oxygen up. Okay, you are the manure pile creating the worms. So people that vibrate high, that have a high vibrational diet, because there's only one diet, it's called high frequency. So whatever you're looking at, what you're going to eat or drink, you got to say, what is this going to do for me? How is this going to feed me? How is this going to detoxify me? How am I going to feel afterwards? Because all food and all liquid leave the body. Nothing stays behind. The actual light and the frequency within the product create the physical body.
Well, so, you know, you're talking about only 1% of the food in the stores is even, you know, really worthy of eating. So yeah, most people just can't leave the country and go to some other country and live where there's, you know, maybe organic foods and things. What do people do?
Well, okay. If people go and they like look at my perfect day guide, pdgfree.com guide, or download my dodselfcure.com slideshow, all the answers are there. You have to find local farmers. You find co-ops. There's co-ops even in every mega city, co-ops that bring food in. But understand this, and please, I've been doing this for 44 years. I'm only going to tell people the right way, the least expensive way. Organic is not the way to go. Organic, you can buy a watermelon that has no seeds, and they'll call it organic, which means it hardly has any nutrition at all. And, you know, to buy organic, you pay more if you don't want the poisonous stuff. But I would rather get the product with seeds in it and then soak it in some healthy salt and also some baking soda and then structured water. You can purify any fruit or vegetable with that, anything. That'll purify it because it's all about frequency. So I would always look for food where the farmer says, I don't use any chemicals, but I'm not certified organic, because he has to charge a lot more money, because even a small farmer gets dinged $10,000 by a scandalous government. Okay. And organic doesn't mean anything, because if the minerals weren't in the soil, they're not in the food. And if they're not in the food, they're not in you. And that's why we can't turn off the hunger. Can't turn off the hunger because your body was always wanting minerals. Minerals are first and foremost. There is no diseases or symptoms without a mineral deficiency.
But is there's supplements and things? What kind of supplements can people take, I'm sure, to be able to put these minerals back in your body?
Well, I'd like to go back to the earth myself. You know, humic stands for human, and soil stands for soul, and humic is the soul of a human. And Bill Gates has bought all the land in America for one reason: to take all the humic out of the soil and then sell the land back to people so that it doesn't have any life. That's why you used to have one horse pull a plow, and now guess what? It's 150 to 200 horses. That would be horsepower. That means 150 horses have to pull the same plow, because they were using NPK chemical fertilizers, and all the microbes are dead. There's no humic left in the soil. Okay. And they're using, you know, when they're talking about the Strait of Hormuz, where the war is on right now, and how the fertilizer can't come to help for the soil. Well, it's all chemical fertilizer that they're talking about. That's what they're not talking about, real fertilizer, organic fertilizer. So everybody's having their crops fertilized by a drug, by a chemical. And so it's void of all the nutrition you need anyways. Yeah, the food grows, but there's nothing in it. That's the problem. And you can say things like, oh my God, well, we all can't just go there, Daryl, or do this, Daryl. Well, the reality is we better come together as human beings, okay? And we better look to what God has created and take a look back 80 years ago and take a look at the way the soil is. That's the way we need to go back to take a look at the way the food was. Organic's a scam. Okay, I don't buy organic anywhere. I don't want to buy organic. I'd rather it's better have seeds. If I can buy it local, there's another good thing. So the reality is it's called human beings need to come together. And it doesn't matter where you live. If it became important, look, we've all been programmed that we don't have enough time. We don't have enough energy. We got to run to the supermarket, grab our food, throw it into the cart, get home. Well, someday it's going to have to be a priority. Because understand this, right now, America is rotting out from the inside out. Why don't you take a walk? Go walk down any street, take a look at people. First of all, most of them are shuffling their feet because their low backs are completely frozen because they've been pooping in their pelvis. The infection caused inflammation, caused scar tissue formation and calcification, and that's why they're all frozen up. I mean, grandpa's as stiff as a board. You can be any age and you can be healthy, not even a cold or a flu. Colds and flus are just an annual detox that nature does if you haven't been eating a pure lifestyle. There is no diseases. There is no colds and flus. There's just detox. That's all. And you need to detox as much as you bring toxins in. You're going to have to get them out.
Well, so when you do these cleanses, because I know you have a clinic, what type of, let's say somebody has cancer, you have people come and they're treated down at your clinic. Is that correct?
Yeah, but first of all, let's understand that they don't have cancer. Okay, right. They have what the medical system calls cancer. They have stage 4 or 5 inflammation. So let's treat it like a fire, and let's say that the fire was caused by pouring gasoline on it, which was an incorrect lifestyle. So if we can create a perfect day from the moment you rise until you close your eyes, okay, on an emotional, physical, nutritional level, I don't care if they gave you 10 days to live. They don't know what they're talking about. Don't act like the majority and change your personality enough that you're not making the same low vibrational choices you were yesterday, and you change the whole game. That's it. And so when somebody comes to me, remember, it's blocks. They've got blocks in their body. Everybody that you know is ill, wherever that part is on their body, it doesn't function right. It's either a mass, okay, the circulation's really bad, or the tissue's rotting out. So what are you going to do to bring that back? If you had perfect circulation, what would you have? Perfect health.
I mean,
perfect health. If you had 0.04 volts in every cell, then you would have youth and vitality. That's it. You'd have all the energy you ever needed. I'll be 70 years old, and if anybody on here follows me, they're going to find out that I do 10 times more than any 70-year-old does. There's nobody that's even 30 years old, and I've got 30 in my staff that can even keep up with me, because it's all about mind over matter, and it's what you put in your mouth and you ask the right questions. And the reality is, if somebody comes with cancer, there's no cancer. There is a block somewhere. There is lack of oxygen somewhere. There's lack of electrical conductivity. How am I going to bring back that 0.04 volts? How am I going to bring back that oxygen? And how am I going to get the calcium that's been pulled out of their bones, that's blocking up that area, back into the bones? And how am I going to get that scar tissue to be beautiful connective tissue, where they have flexibility, they have strength, and they're just vital again? That's the deal. So I would never, ever, you can call me and say, I got cancer, and I will never treat you like a cancer patient. I will treat you as somebody that has blockages and that needs to increase your circulation in that part of the body, but we have to do it throughout the whole body. It's called whole body healing. I would use cell sonic regeneration, which is a 20,000 20,000 volt device. It's right here, right beside me. That's what this is. And I would pulse. Rafa, can you please? Can you show the Cellsonic? Okay, you're not showing it. Can you go with a wide lens, please? Thank you. Okay, no, okay. So that's called a Cellsonic regeneration. That's 20,000 pulse. That's 20,000 volts, but it's put into a love harmonic. Okay, and then what it actually does is the day that you leave your body, there's no voltage left. And if you're in bed and you can't get out, then guess what? You are 35% or more lower in voltage. That's it. Everything's electrical. So I want to put the electrical conductivity back into the body. I want to use this to fracture the calcium, to ionize it, to get into the bones. And then I want to put in electrical conductivity into the scar tissue. And guess what? Remember Frankenstein laying there dead, like on the slab? And then the lightning bolt, he's alive. It's all about voltage, and you can bring your voltage up by smiling. You can bring your voltage up by looking at food as a frequency. And the people you hang around with, if you love these people, they bring your voltage up. If you're around people that bring you down, they're not bringing you down. They're stealing your voltage. It's all voltage. So when your voltage comes up, your oxygen comes up. When your oxygen comes up, your voltage comes up. And then we use another device called a cardio med bed. And that's where we actually push 60% of their blood flow from the lower body up to their upper body. And we're flushing the whole body. Like we can take a person that has a 94% blockage in their heart, and in 40 hours on a cardio med bed, they've got a brand new heart and a brand new set of arteries.
Wow. Well, no, this sounds incredible, but a lot of people just aren't going to be able to go down and get all these machines. What can the average person do naturally to get their oxygen and their voltage up, and some things that they can do just in their own house?
Well,
I know they can go to your website, read these things. I mean, I'm going.
The most important thing is about you taking massive personal action and taking the time to do it. Remember, the hardest thing that anybody has to do this is giving themselves that time. I mean, how many people do you know, they go, thank you, God, for these 50 trillion cells and 500 trillion bacteria that are giving me life? When's the last time that people really think about that these are living organisms that have all come collectively together to give me life? My God, I exist. So what we do is we teach people how to do a perfect day from the moment you rise till you close your eyes. How, just even this, a love band, 3, 2, 1, I got this. 3, 2, 1, I'm strong enough. I'm good enough. 3, 2, 1, that's the old me. I'm not doing that anymore. It's snapping yourself to the present moment. The present moment is the only moment of power. If you have tons of regrets, you're going nowhere. You've got to make peace. If the present moment is the only place of power. If you're worried about your future, then you're going nowhere. You can only heal, and you can only create something new in the present moment. So we talk about emotional little techniques, wear a smile, wear protection, connect to your breath, 3 seconds in, 4 seconds out, and just really work with that. In my app, and my BHN app, I have what's called the present moment. And it's just a nice, a bowl sound. That's all it is. And you set that for 5 minutes for 1 month. And every 5 minutes when that goes off, it won't disturb anyone. Ask yourself, am I in the present moment? Am I working on my passion, my purpose, my dreams? Or am I living in guilt? Or am I guilting someone else? Or am I fearing the future? So, if I did that every 5 minutes, where do you think I would be if I heard that and said, where am I? So most people do not realize they have the same 70 to 90,000 thoughts every day. So they're never going to change. And unless you be conscious enough to know that your belief systems aren't yours, they were programmed into you from 0 to 7. The 5 most prominent dominant people that lived with you and raised you from 0 to 7. That's where your personality thing, it wasn't God given, it was man driven. So we have to go in and get rid of dysfunctional beliefs that don't allow us to bring our value up, to bring our spirit up, to believe in ourselves that yes, our body can heal. And yes, I was created by God Almighty, so I'm going to act like it. So we teach all kinds of things, how to do an ultimate coffee enema to purge your liver, how to cleanse out your colon, okay, how to actually do clapping. We have what's called a clapper. Did you know that if you clap anywhere in your body and it bruises, did you know that that's because you have tissue rotting, that healthy people don't bruise? Grandma and grandpa can wake up and go, oh my God, I went to bed last night, woke up this morning, I got bruises on my arms, I didn't bang into anything. Grandma, that's because you're rotting out because you've been pooping in your pelvis for 20 to 30 years. And whether you believe it or not, most natural health practitioners aren't on the money because the large intestine is the holy grail. It's 85% of your immune system. That's your microbiome. And leaky gut is not leaky small intestine. It's not leaky stomach. It's leaky large intestine. And what we've done is we've done antibiotics, glyphosate, processed food, okay, and all the sugars, the alcohols, the refined carbs, and it's caused infection to inflammation, and then it tore open the tight junctions in our large intestine. So now we're actually pooping fecal matter, parasites, heavy metals, chemicals, fungus, bad bacteria, and trapped protein particles into our bloodstream. And there is the cause of 99% of all illness, leaky large intestine. And guess what? Did you know that Alzheimer's, dementia, ADD, ADHD, bipolar, MS, Parkinson's, all come from leaky gut? And it's because what happens is it's called lipopolysaccharide, and it causes whole body inflammation. But when it hits your brain, it shuts down your dopamine and your serotonin, and goodbye brain. So if we want to seal the deal, we got to heal the large intestine. And I guarantee you, 99% of your listeners suffer from low back pain and pelvic problems and abdominal problems more than anything else. And that's all because of the large intestine, because we rot from the bottom up and the inside out. Every skin condition, asthma, arthritis, lung problems, all the bowel. But people don't look at it. And did you know when we were created, what was the first thing that was created? A little tube called your large intestine. That's all you were. That's what you were at the very beginning. And there was the clue right there that the large intestine's the first brain, and your brain is not a brain. Your brain is just a computer and a chemist. It dumps chemicals. And it'll dump, if you have bad bacteria mainly in your bowel, it dumps bad chemicals. Did you know that? So everybody that's not eating right, okay, if you have a bad diet, you got bad bacteria. If you got bad bacteria, you've got, okay, a bad personality because you're not in charge of your personality. I don't know why I feel like this. I don't know why. There it is. It's the bacteria. Your bacteria speak 9 times to your brain, and your brain only speaks 1 time to your body for the 9 times that your bacteria speak to your brain. I told you the art of living right in a nutshell. And people aren't going to get it because that's not where the money is. Mostly what we spend our time doing is teaching people how to do a perfect day at home, because guess what? You can believe it or not. I live in Mexico. I know all the major cancer clinics down here, and they're anywhere from 30,000 to 50,000 for 2 weeks. Okay? And I'll tell you right now, people can do the same thing without leaving home, without the expense. And the reality is, if you want to go away and dump all that money, go ahead. But the reality is, your personality creates your reality. And you know what? You better make sure you're taking a different person back home.
So if they can do this at home, Dr. Wolf,
they can.
What you're saying is very interesting. Even the Bible says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. And so a lot of it is our thoughts. Thoughts are things, and this personality. It's interesting. What can they do at home? I mean, what is your website that they can see some of these protocols that you were talking about?
Docofdetox.com is the major website.
Doc of detox.com. Okay.
Yeah. And if they want, and I'll tell you, if they jump into my app, it's called bhnapp.com. You've never seen an app like this. This app, it lovingly takes people on the most beautiful ride and teaches them everything they need. I have the largest masterclass library in the world, and it's free.
So it's B as in boy, H as in heaven, N as in
Norman,
or
but it's Braveheart Nation.
Braveheart Nation. Okay.
Because understand something, we don't need a hero. We need to become our own heroes. We don't need to follow anyone. We need to believe in ourselves. And you know why we need to believe in ourselves? Because everything is already in here. You know, I tell everyone, reach that God spot in your heart. The next time that you get angry, just put your hand on your heart, process through your heart so that you don't act and attack anybody and have to clean up a mess later.
So it's for the app. To sign up for the app, they go to braveheartnetwork.com.
No, braveheartnationapp.com or bhnapp.com.
Okay, BHN.
And in there, they will find, I'll give you two more important things. One is called DODselfcure.com. They can learn how to do a watermelon cleanse at home, how to do a grape cure at home, how to do an advanced water fast and unleash ketosis and autophagy. And in 6 days, you can make $100,000 in stem cells by doing an advanced water fast yourself. You don't have to go pay for them. And also,
when you do this advanced water fast, explain what the water fast with is. It just water?
Okay, remember, so Jesus.
And what kind of water? I believe in fasting. So.
Yeah, but Jesus used to do a fast for 40 days on water. And remember something, there was 35% more oxygen in the air back then. The water was pure, and Jesus didn't fast because he needed to lose weight. It was to become higher vibrational frequency. And that was it, to really become deep within spirit. And today, I'm going to tell you, I've been doing water fast since I was 19 years old. I opened up my first clinic when I was 24 years old. And by the time I was 32, we had to stop doing water fasts. Now, there's people still doing water fasts today.
Why?
Well, because what happened was, okay, think about this one. Think about back when I was 32. Now, that we had to stop because we were doing 6 to 10 day advanced water fast monitoring. Now, we found that after 10 days of doing advanced water fasts, that we were actually getting rid of people's problems. Okay, we'll just put it that way lightly. Problem was, it was taking 3 to 6 months to get their energy back. People were already, when I was back 32 years old, and I'll be 70 in 2 months. You know, back then, okay, we were already malnourished. We were already toxic. Okay, so the reality is when you do just a water fast, you are unleashing everything so fast that your organs are already toxic and they're chronically clogged. What do you think we're going to do? We're going to blow ourselves up. So I was having people, when I first started back when I was like 22 years old doing this, and then working just those few years, you know, it was easier. Every year we started getting harder and harder because they've been poisoning everything, the water, the air, the food. We know that. I want to get into that. It's obvious. But the reality is when you did a water fast, you unleashed all of this stuff too fast. And then it would get into the bloodstream. And if your bowels or your kidneys and sweating and doing other processes doesn't get rid of it, it can go other places and harm you. Because understand, I need you to understand this. Okay, first of all, people aren't fat, they're toxic. The body makes fat cells if it has enough energy. If it didn't make the fat cells, they wouldn't be alive. The fat cells store infection and inflammation. You don't have fat unless you're eating a low vibrational, man-made, toxic lifestyle. End of story. It's not some genetic thing. That's pathetic. That you can drag that through. You know, they did a thing called the Genome Project where they wanted to prove that cancer and everything else was genetic. And it cost hundreds of millions of dollars of taxpayers' money in the United States. And when they finished, did they tell anyone? No, they couldn't. Because at the end of it, they go, well, we think that there could be 3 diseases. They're rare that could be genetic. But guess what? There wasn't one genetic disease, not one. And they're still telling everyone it's genetic. How pathetic. And you want to call yourself a human being? You want to call, and then some of these people, you know, I just go, and you want to call yourself a Christian? Are you like out of your skull? Do your homework. So anyways, now let me get back to the story. That kind of gets me, that always gets me riveted, you know, just anyways, whatever. So where was I? Where was I?
Talking about the fasting. And
yeah.
I was asking because I believe in fasting, you know.
Yeah, but fasting is great. But when we fast people, they do the ultimate coffee enema. Nice to get the cork out of your butt. Because I'm telling you right now.
What kind of coffee did you use?
Well, it's organic green coffee and it's higher in caffeine because you need that. And it's
where do you get that at? Where do you buy this organic green coffee?
Well, we get it. We get it and we get it out of Panama. Okay. All right.
You sell that on your website?
Yeah, we do. And we sell the stainless steel enema bucket. But also when you go to do a coffee enema, you have to use what we call black gold. Remember the humic I told you about? Because remember, if I coffee will go in and trigger the liver to dump the worst toxins that it's been storing for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. That goes into your bowel, which guess what? How many people have done antibiotics or have glyphosate in their products? Or how many people are drinking too much alcohol? How many people are eating too much refined carbs? I mean, whether people want to believe this or not, but rice is as bad as sugar. And everybody eats rice. And rice is as bad as sugar. Okay? You got like 20 cubes of sugar in one bowl of rice. Okay? So people don't even know they're glucose spiking all the time and creating inflammation and tearing those tight junctions apart in the bowel. So go ahead and do a coffee enema and don't put black gold into it and suck up all of that stuff so that it comes out. You're just going to reabsorb it back into your bloodstream.
So then what do?
Well, they put black gold in and then you don't. If you've ever done a coffee enema before and then put black gold in, you're going to go, oh my gosh, what a difference. I feel amazing.
Well, I've done colonics. I've never really what about getting colonics? Is that just as good as a black coffee enema?
Well, let's weigh it out. So I went and became a colon therapist. I opened up the second colon therapy school in North America called the North American School of Colon Therapy. And so anyways, I don't believe in colonics. If you want to get the cork out of the wine bottle, go right ahead. But I don't think it's healthy for anyone to have a 20, 30-foot bowel movement to you. And a lot of people will not change their lifestyle or really bring the tone back into their colon because your colon's a muscle. And the reality is you have what's called hostras. And when you get those hostras to get tone again, your life is just magical. But most people, the hostras, which is the muscle tone, is leaving. So no, I don't believe in colonics. I actually spoke at the last colon therapy. The last time I spoke for the Colon Therapy Association of in the United States, I actually said, you know, colon therapists rely too much on colon therapy, and you're actually breaking down and wearing out the person's large intestine. Okay. And trust me, our training was the best of any colon therapy. Before we did any colon therapy on anyone, I did what's called an abdominal lift using we could actually lift the transverse colon up 1 to 2 inches, and we'd go in and get rid of the adhesions with an elbow technique called Wolf Non-Surgical that I put together. There's nothing like our training, but still, we still do that. But doing the ultimate coffee enema, which cost you a lot less money, is actually going to rehabilitate your large intestine and your liver, and colonics will break your colon down eventually.
So the coffee enema, where you can get that on, well, you can get everything on your website.
docofdetoxstore.com. I have so many things like the clapper, the belly button therapy. People don't know it, but even doing belly button therapy. Can somebody bring me that, please? And your belly button was how you were attached to your mother, your umbilical cord. And when you do belly button therapy, you trigger your vagus nerve, and you trigger yourself to go into a parasympathetic state, and you dump more dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins than making love or any other drug. So we teach people how to get back into that healing state. We get people clapping themselves at home. If you gave me somebody that had
belly button therapy, what do you do on that one?
With one?
No, the belly button therapy.
They're grabbing it right now. They'll bring it. It's a belly button kit, we call it. And
how did you find this?
Well, I've been traveling the world for since I was I've been teaching Wolf Non-Surgical Certified course and teaching professionals how to pull tumors apart and fibroids. And I do that all around the world. So I find things all around the world. So this is called a belly button therapy kit.
Okay, all right. Can you get that on your doctor?
And you put that in the belly
store too?
Can you go open up the camera, please? Please wake up, okay, everyone? Okay, yeah.
Are they taking a siesta?
Yeah, trust me, they siesta a lot. Okay, so anyways, this is belly button therapy, and you go different directions, and guess what? This actually releases more dopamine, serotonin, endorphins than anything else, and this helps to actually help you have a bowel movement. So if you do this first thing in the morning,
how much is that little kit? Belly button therapy.
I think, well, with all the instructions and everything, I think it's like $30 or $35. I don't know my own pricing. Okay.
No, I know, but what I'm saying, it's affordable. And so
for anyone, this is called a clapper. And whether you want to believe this or not, if you had a frozen shoulder and you thought you needed surgery, if you were to brave up and you on skin, clap this for 10 to 20 minutes. And if you couldn't lift your arm, you're going to be able to put it right up. Mary, remember something. It's all crystallization called lactic acid. So you got to warm it up to melt it. And then it's called scar tissue. So I got to bring blood flow in to make the scar tissue back into beautiful connective tissue, because scar tissue is just the absence of circulation. And then it's calcification, and I can break that up and ionize it and get it back in my bones. They don't tell you this.
So what is the clapper? So what does it do? It just clamps on the.
Well, let me tell you, you can clap. If you clap right here, this is the heart and lung area. But if you clap and you bruise, that tells you that you are decomposing. Do healthy people bruise? No. Do overripe fruit bruise? So I got a fruit bowl. The fruit's getting a little bit mushy. It's growing some fungus on it. That would be the aging spots, the sun spots, the brown spots. That's all fungus. I don't have any brown spots. So when you're an oldie moldy goldie, that's your liver, because you backed up your bowel, which backed up your liver, and now you're getting mold, okay? Because you remember something, stagnation causes putrefaction and causes bacteria and parasites and fungus, right? So everything is about circulation. So I'll tell you right now, if there's somebody here and they're watching me and you've got a knee problem and they say that you need knee surgery, if you were to, take your pants off, just skin on skin, clap here, even if it hurts.
Just take your hand and clap on it.
Watch. Now clap as hard as you can for 3 to 5 minutes, and you're going to stand up and walk, and you're not going to have the pain. I just talked to a lady. I just did a 2-hour live for the UK. And guess what? They told her she needed knee surgery. So some people will come to me, some won't. So she couldn't come to me. So I said, get DMSO gel, pain away essential oil, get yourself a clapper. But I said first, and you're going to use all this. I showed her how to do it on a video. But I said first thing in the morning every day, clap 3 to 5 minutes as hard as you can here, and understand something. This lady is 86 years old. No knee surgery. Understand, I can show you how to get rid of 99.9% of all surgery.
What about hips? What about hips?
Well, understand something, love. What's it called? It's called the pelvic bowl. And you've been pooping in your pelvis, okay? You've been pooping in your pelvis since you were a little girl. You've had bowel problems. Everybody has, because we don't know bowel intelligence. So guess what? If I'm pooping in the bowl, doesn't it overflow into the hips? Why do you think people waddle like a duck? Do you know what? Why don't you go back 50 years and you're going to find out that there was only 5% of the hip surgeries done. America is rotting out. Your large intestine is rotting out. You're pooping into your pelvis. And that's why you have cysts, endometriosis, bladder infections, prostate problems, infertility, endometriosis, fibroids. Okay? That's the truth. We wouldn't have any of that.
Well, a friend of mine just had, hip surgery. She doesn't want to. She had something done, but she doesn't want to have a hip replacement. And
just know this, she can either take 6 months to reverse her hip problem, or she can get the surgery and be down for 6 to 9 months. And then she'll tell you, oh, I don't have any pain, but now I don't have very good movement and I can't move around that good, but at least I don't have pain. Or she's going to tell you that the other hip is going or the knee is going. Listen, with surgery causes more scar tissue and more calcification problems than anything else on the planet. And I'm willing to have any doctor that's listening right now to come on my show, because it is a torture to the body. If you can create a disease, you can get rid of it if you have faith. And if you take massive personal action and understand that we were created to heal. And that's the truth.
No, I believe you. I believe, you're an interesting person. Let's put it that way.
Well, I'm the only guy that gives the money back. I don't see anybody else doing it. I'll give the money back on my consultations. I'll give the money back on the first treatment, that if I don't prove to you that we can reverse this by the first treatment, you don't pay. That's it. And that's not a marketing scheme, because I have right now, I set up DOD Power Pack clinics. I don't own them. I don't make money from them. All we're doing is we're setting up clinics all over the world that do the same thing, offer a money back guarantee. Because guess what? We've all been lied to. We've all been screwed over. If you think getting sold off by the pound and getting surgery or doing chemo or radiation or doing antibiotics, then you're done. You're done. You're going down. I'm telling you right now, the medical system is a harvesting station. And that's what it is. And you know what? They only do emergency care really well, but they cause 99% of the emergencies. Thank you.
No, I believe you. Believe me, I've been watching this show going on, and yes, no, it's not good. So, okay, you're interesting. I could talk to you for a long time. It's like, so I usually don't like to go over an hour in a show. So let's do this. I'll have you back on again, because I like you. You're a good guy. And I think what you have is something that God has given you something. So
you know what? I do it a little bit differently than you, but I do what you do. And what is that? You're telling people that they can have the life that was promised.
Yeah. You're also intuitive. See, that the thing God's given me is the gift of prophetic, the prophecy, and the Holy Spirit. Jesus healed all of those, that were sick. God still heals today supernaturally, but a lot of it is in the mind. A lot of people are attacked because the battle is in the mind. There's so many things that we're getting. Our spirit, soul, and body, is one. That's what God's told us, that we're connected with Him. In John 7,
I couldn't say it any better.
Yeah. Well, so now I want to get the belly button deal. I want to get the clap.
We'll just send it to you. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll send you the belly button and the clapper, and I'll send you some daily cleansing tea in black gold. And just make sure that that I get your address, okay? And here, and I'll send you a copy of my Healthy to 100. This is like kind of my story, what I went through and what everybody goes through, and it's how to live to 100. They can download this. Everybody can download this for free on my website. I don't charge for that. And then everybody
say the website again. Put it up on the screen, Rena.
It's called docofdetox.com.
Docofdetox.com.
Yeah, and I'll show you something. I put this together. This is 650 page, and this is a beautiful laid out book on everything you need to do from your nose to your toes, and it's free to everybody. Okay, it's free to everyone.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, you're a gift. You are a gift, Dr. Wolf. And you know,
Well,
there's a
thank
lot
you.
of doctors. I've interviewed a lot of people, and they all have something. I mean, but the inflammation, I believe, is true, of course. And you know, God gives. You know what I mean? That's why we need the body of Christ. That's why we need each other. And you know, you're a gift.
Just said it. You just said it. We need each other.
Yeah, we need each other. And, you know, it's so, you know, doctor, so many people, including myself, we're all, I mean, attacked to these phones, you know what I mean? Which you look at these little kids, they're all on the phones and they're this and that. And growing up, I'm sure you were the same way. We went out and played and we, you know, we were out in the sun. And now everybody, you know, of course, there's a lot of kids that get taken, stolen. People are afraid. There's a big shift coming to the culture. I don't preach fear. What God has me do is that there is a great awakening and we are in a battle. There is a demonic realm, satanic realm that wants to kill, steal, and destroy. But God said he came to give us life and to give it to us in abundance. So I believe in what you're doing, doctor. Little unconventional stuff. Listen, I think I like your style. I really do. I like your style. I want to come down to Ixtapa.
Listen, if you ever want to come down, I have a really beautiful place. It's called DOD5star.com. Go take a look at it. And if you want to come down, I'll put you up. Okay. You can come down and you don't have to do a detox, but if you want to come down, we'll do a show together here and you can come and enjoy it. Listen, I've got tons of energy medicine equipment in that house. You can come down and play. And you know what? That's my gift to you for all the work that you do. Okay.
DODdetox.com. Yeah, I'm in LA, so it's not that far to fly to Ixtapa.
And guess what? No strings attached. You can come down and we can get together or not get together. I just want to tell you that you can come down and enjoy it.
And I can take a siesta.
That's right. Okay. That's right. You could take a siesta, but first you'd have to go and wake up my staff.
That's right. Okay, well, I stay on the line. Well, okay, so you guys, I'm closing the show. This is a very unusual interview, but I like Dr. Wolf. I think that he's a gift. Now, is he for everybody? Yes. Is everybody going to listen to what he has to say? No. But I've had some really close friends, Dr. Wolf, die of cancer. In fact, well, it's not cancer, it's inflammation. You know, my friend, my editor-director, that I have a film called Freedom Crime about sex trafficking in America. And so I've lost some very, very close friends. I know they're in heaven. I know but it's like, I watched them take the chemo. I see these people take these, and the chemo is just killing people.
Well, it's mustard gas. It's illegal in war, but it's not illegal in the hospital. And also it's the only product where a doctor gets paid $3,000 for the referral.
They're making a lot of money on this stuff, and it's really, really sad.
Only it's only 2.3 people are alive after 5 years after chemo.
Wow. So now let's say people did want to come down to your clinic. I've sent people other places. I know other people that are going, into Mexico. What is the price point? I mean, I know you're not doing this for the money, but you're doing it to help humanity. But if people were thinking I'd want to come down, just to give kind of a generalization of what it could cost.
Well, I know, but you could come down here and just want to do like a watermelon cleanse, advanced water fast, you know, we've got Bioptron, Avicen, we've got a structured ionized silver pool. That's all free. I mean, and then the rooms are like $140, and it's 5-star. I mean, I didn't do this to be the moneymaker. I retired 20 years ago. I came back 17 years and said, you know what? I got to do it right. So, yeah.
Well, I know I'm coming. I know that I'm going to come. It's like,
well, you're welcome to come, and I really mean that. And if you want,
I know I'm taking you up on the deal. I'm going to be, because there's things that you guys, we have to do. This detox and the fasting and some of this stuff is very important, but to do it the right way. And so anyway, once again, say where people can go to your site. Put it up on the screen.
They can go to docofdetox.com. That's the main site. And then they can go to DOD5star.com. That's our healing retreat down here. And then they can go to BHN app, which stands for Braveheart Nation app.com. And it is the world's largest free self-care app. Okay. And
it's free to join the app, right?
Oh gosh, yeah, it's free. It has to be free.
See, that's the thing. I do these Open the Heavens events and around the country, because what God does with me, Dr. Wolf, is he has me do these events in areas, and then we have different people come in and speak. Maybe we'll have you come and speak. But, you know, both patriots, you know, people that are Christians, whatever. He always tells me the different ones. But we open the heavens in the anointing with prayer and Psalm 24. The spiritual war is in the second heaven, and we're in a battle for humanity. And so the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. So God uses me, you know, in that realm. But see, that's where we need each other, because you have a certain, you know, I have a certain thing. As God brings these gifts together, we become one. You know what I mean? And
don't hesitate. You need to bring the thunder down, girl.
Hey, when we do these events, a lot of times what it does, Dr. Wolf, is it causes the lightning and the thunders in the heavenly realms to manifest. We see it.
And I believe you. Hands down, I believe you. Just know that, okay? Because it's all about frequency and it's all about prayer.
When we did, I'll finish with this. When we did an event in Beverly Hills at the L'Ermitage Hotel, it was on October 12, 2018. It was called the Freedom Ball. And we were under this canopy. It was a 5-star, you know, hotel. There was 200 people on a rooftop. I was raising money for my film. And I got up there. The sky had been clear, bright 2 hours earlier. Little by little, a few clouds rolled in. I had a really nice 7-piece band, and people were in tuxes or suits. I was in a nice gown. And all of a sudden we open it. Within 10 minutes, Dr. Wolf, there was a full-on lightning and thunderstorm that you would see transformers being hit by lightning. And people were just like watching the show. God said it was the greatest show on earth. That's what he's bringing. He told me, Dr. Wolf, the greatest movies, the greatest music, the greatest intellectual properties have yet to be released, because God said it's a showdown, and we're going to see God roll out the what he really wants for the planet and take back these demonic realm. And the kingdoms of this world will now become the kingdoms of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And we're going to see a mighty move of God, which is going to redeem the culture. That's where I see it happening. And I know that you have some of the keys for the other part. You have it all, but I just know the part that I have. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? It takes a community, sweetheart.
You know what, Dr. Wolf? God is also very funny, and he thinks you're funny. He thinks you're funny. He likes to laugh with you. He goes, "Did you see what Dr. Wolf did today?" It's like, you know, yeah, they look at you, they watch you in the cloud of witnesses. They go like, wow. Yeah. And so anyway, they like you. I sense it.
Thank you.
It's cool. So anyway, well, listen, you guys, this was a very unconventional podcast, which I'm actually glad. It was kind of refreshing. So I'm going to go check out the site. Dr. Wolf is going to send me some products. I'm going to try them out, and then I'll be a good advocate for what he has. And then I'm going to go down and I'm going to see the facility as the Holy Spirit leads. I'm not going to say I'm going to do this and not do it. Believe me, I'll probably try.
You're gonna love the beach. You're gonna love the beach. You're gonna love the town. Yeah, and the DOD 5-star is about 5 blocks from me, and it's on a cobblestone street. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's all jungle around you.
And maybe we'll even get a little team that goes down there. I mean, in the future, I'm going to check it out first, but maybe we'll get like even a little tour that we can bring down, very reasonable. People can go down there and be on a retreat and get all like healing and cleansed. And
well, you know what? If you come first and survive, maybe we will. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I've survived. Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, okay, you guys, we'll try it first and then we'll see if I survive. Well, listen, Dr. Wolf, thank you for coming on. I wanted to stay on after we close up the broadcast. I want to have a question to ask you. But you guys, thank you for watching. Remember to please share this with others. You don't have to believe everything you hear. Do your own research. Go and do your own due diligence, like what Dr. Wolf was saying. Go check out his website. Get on the free app, bhnapp.com. I'm going to get on it and then just start learning, start growing. And, I know that, we have to be around people that make us happy, but we're in a war. There's a lot of sad people, Dr. Wolf. Don't you agree? I mean, there's a lot of people that are very toxic and we have to help them. And as we're happy, happiness is a choice. As we're happy, we can smile and spread the love. I mean, I noticed, Dr. Wolf, as I close, I automatically, when I go by somebody, I must smile at them because they smile back. I'm all of a sudden I must have a smile on my face, and most people smile back when you smile, but there's some people that just kind of, you know what I'm saying? It's like, wow, bless that person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why just keep wearing protection.
And what's the protection?
Wear protection, your smile.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
The smile is the style. And anyway, cool. Well, listen, thanks for watching, everybody. Please go to Dr. Wolf's websites. We'll have them in the links below. And please remember to pray and stay happy and sing and worship. And you know what I mean? Let's not get caught up in the minutia. Sometimes I have to study and learn about what's happening in the world. So I have to see some of the things that are happening as a journalist that might not always be so good, but I have to know what's happening. I can't put my head in the sand. We are in a war, but we've already won. Jesus said it is finished. And what he said as I close, he said, we're seated in heavenly places far above principalities, powers, mights, and dominions. We're already seated there with him. And so that's where you are. We're not on the ground below in these low frequencies, as you say. We're seated in heavenly places high. Okay. And the high, well, I don't necessarily use those vibrations and everything. I believe in them, but I use different language. It's the same thing. But anyway, God is love, and we're going to see a great revival of love, liberty, and light. So thanks for coming on, Dr. Wolf. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, please follow, and the best is yet to come. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Dr. Wolf. See you soon.
Thank you. God bless.